artists. So today we are going to review about shapes and the two different types of shapes that we know about. And then we're going to look at an artist who uses both of those shapes and has his own special style. And we're going to learn what that is today. All right, so let's review. A shape is a line that comes back to where it starts. So if I go this way, make a straight line, down here, make a straight line, here, and it comes back to where it started, that makes a square or a rectangle. A shape that goes around and back to where it starts, that makes a circle. So let's think about it. Is this a shape? What? That is a shape because the line started and stopped where it began. We call these organic shapes. So let's quickly take a look at the two different types of shapes and see if we can see the differences between them. So geometric shapes, they are the types that normally have names like triangle, circles, ovals, squares. We often talk about them in math class because math and art go hand in hand. We often think of them as being perfectly shaped. They have straight lines, or you can measure them with a ruler or a compass. And now let's take a look at those geometric shapes. This painting by Piet Mondrian uses straight lines to make squares and rectangles. This one was created by Paul Klee. You can see many types of squares and rectangles and shapes in his art. Organic shapes are the opposite of geometric shapes. We often find them in nature. You may have heard of organic milk or organic vegetables. That just means that they are natural, found outside in nature. Okay, so some shapes are clouds, raindrops, puddles. Okay, they kind of look like blobs, animals, seashells. All right, so these are the natural shapes, often found outside. They are not perfect. We sometimes call them a free form because they could be blobs or move. So now let's look at organic shapes in art. This one is by Henry Matisse. He used to cut out shapes out of paper in weird, blobby, organic shapes. Georgia O'Keeffe drew large paintings of objects like leaves and flowers. So now we're going to learn all about an artist named Joan Miró, who was born in Barcelona, Spain in 1893, and he lived for 100 years and died in 1993, which was not too long ago. One of his paintings actually sold for $26 million, and he has a very fun and playful style, and he uses a lot of different types of shapes, which we're going to look at. All right, so let's take a look at one of Joan Miró's paintings. What is going on here? This is kind of silly looking. Well, what I see are shapes, like geometric shapes. Here's a triangle. Here's a triangle that overlaps other shapes. But he also uses organic shapes, like this weird blobby shape. What else do you see? I see some curls. I see some stars. I see dots at the end of lines. Those might be his arms or his legs. Okay, so keep this in mind as we look at our next painting. Whoa, this one's crazy. It looks like outer space. But let's look and see what he uses. Again, he uses geometric shapes. Geometric shapes like circles and triangles. He's got this weird blobby creature. That's an organic shape. I see those dots at the end of lines. I see those crisscross shapes. Stars. He likes stars. So looking at this one and this one, you can see that he uses a lot of the same elements. Let's keep going. Whoa. Again, geometric shapes, stars, those crisscross stars. He used them here and he used them here. There's one. Okay, circles at the end of lines. These look like giant eyeballs. Let's look at one more. This one kind of looks like a bird, but he's using the same elements. He's got geometric shapes. These flower-looking thingies are circles that are divided into different shapes with lines with a little dot at the end of them. He's got swirly organic shapes. He's got wavy lines like this weird worm guy. Stars. He loves stars. Okay, this one looks like a checkerboard. I've seen that before. Let's go back to our first picture. Here's a checkerboard with alternating patterns. So Joan Miró has his own style, which means that he uses the same elements in many of his pictures. This is why we recognize his work. All right, so now that we learned about Joan Miró, we're going to be starting a project that's going to take 2 weeks to finish. We're not going to finish it all today, but we're going to be making our own picture in the style of Joan Miró. As you can see, I've used a lot of the same elements like that crisscross design, stars, swirls, overlapping shapes that connect. Okay, all of these are things that he used in his art, and so we're going to do that too. So you are going to need your workbook because I have a wonderful cheat sheet to help us out. You're going to need a white piece of paper and a pencil to get us started today. All right, grab those things and let's go. All right, so like I said before, this is going to be a 2-week project. That means this week we're going to do the drawing part and making your picture on your paper. Then next week we are going to be sharpening all the pencil as well as painting or coloring it in. Okay, so to get started, you are going to need your notebook. Okay, my grade 2 notebook. Inside you're going to see a page with Joan Miró at the top, and then it's got things that he uses. Okay, so there are some on the front and some on the back, and you can use any of these weird, awesome shapes in your drawing. Okay, so we use pencil because we know we're probably going to make mistakes. I make mistakes all the time. You can choose to do your paper this way or this way. That is completely up to you. All right, so where do I begin? Well, let's start drawing some shapes. So maybe in the middle, I might do a weird blobby organic shape. That looks pretty interesting. And then let's see. I'm going to do, we can connect shapes. So maybe down here, I'm going to do one of those triangles, connect it to a circle, and then make it swirl with one of those dot at the ends. That looks kind of cool. Let's do another one over here. And this time I'll do square. And, let's mix it up. Let's do a semicircle with another. That's kind of cool. I know that he likes to use stars. So maybe up here in the corner, I'm going to do some crisscross stars. A nice big one. And then divide this in half. And then I can do those checkerboard patterns. I drew outside the lines. That's a mistake. Okay. What are some other things? Whoa, now we're getting really creative. So let's see. I'm going to make a head out of a geometric circle. We can even overlap that. I like this shape. That looks kind of cool. So we're going to do a swirl with a line. And then those will be his nostrils. And let's give him a wavy smile. And I'm going to erase this because I don't like that. All right, so I'm just going to keep going and going. Let's see what more I can add into it. right, so my drawing is all completed. Notice I filled the whole space. I used lots of the same elements that Joan Miró did, okay, with my organic shapes and stuff. All right, so this is all you're doing this week, okay? This is kind of a bigger project. We're actually going to be doing a lot of these because it's the second half of the year, because we're going to have an awesome art show in May, so we want to have bigger projects in order to submit them into that, okay? So this is all you're doing today. You do not have to send it to me in the Google Classroom. You can if you want to, or you have a question and be like, hey, Miss Hazelton, did I do this correctly? Or, hey, look at how awesome I did. If you want to, you can share it. But next week, after we color it and paint it, that's when I'll grade it. Okay, so that's when you're going to have to submit it. Okay, this week you can, but you don't have to. Next week you will. Okay, so we're going to hold on to these. I would suggest just putting it right into your notebook. This way you know exactly where it's going to be for next week. And then you are done for today. All right, so have fun with this project. Be really creative. Okay, I don't want it to look like mine. I want it to look like yours. All right, so have fun, and I'll see you guys next week. All right, bye.